Hello everyone, how's it going? Dexsor here, and welcome back to some more Tomb Raider. So we are on Tomb of Tihocan. Okay, so we're gonna hop back into it, and yeah, see how we get on. Oh dear. So yeah, today is Monday, and it's a pretty strange time in the UK at the minute. I don't know how many of you are from the UK who watch, or how many of you from overseas have seen on all over social media that the UK is in a pretty strange place right now. We've got riots, protests, all sorts of things. It's pretty horrendous, to be fair. I'm not entirely sure. Well, I am sure what's going on. As many of you may have known, there was a fatal stabbing in a nursery like a couple of days ago, 3 days ago, whatever. And as you can imagine, people are not too happy about it. And I think what's happened is that this isn't like the first time something like this has happened in the UK, not by a long stretch. And to be honest, in terms of legally, nothing ever seems to come of it. As in, the police and the law and people being prosecuted for their crimes. And so I think what's happening is the British public are just, well, to be frank, I think they've had enough, and I understand that people are frustrated, but there's a way of going about things, and this is pretty crazy. There's places being set on fire, there's shops being robbed, there's members of the public's cars being attacked who have like nothing to do with it, nor in my opinion want anything to do with it. So it's a pretty odd time here in the UK at the minute. It's quite a scary atmosphere. I don't think the government are helping so much. The PM come out with a statement suggesting that the British public are far right thugs, and well, to be honest, it's a little bit. It's certainly rattled a few cages, and everything is just blown completely out of proportion. And well, to be perfectly honest with you, we're looking at some kind of all-out war. That's kind of what it is. We now have a huge divide between two different cultures within this country, and yeah, it's a pretty scary place to be at the minute. So, especially in your major cities, if you're from Birmingham and Manchester and places like that, I would recommend that you don't really go out unless you really have to. It's not particularly safe out there. I saw earlier on a video on Twitter there was a guy who had had been attacked with hammers. Yeah, pretty scary, to be honest. And I'm not entirely sure what we can do about it. I mean, the police are completely overrun. They just haven't got the manpower, nor, in my opinion, the facilities to handle a situation like this. It's we're talking about masses of well over 1,000 people at a time who are gathered in groups, and whether they've got bats, guns, whatever they've got, it's a pretty scary time. And what's the solution? I don't know. I think the only thing I can see that's going to make an impact is if these people particularly feel threatened, and that there are consequences for their actions. So maybe the army need to step in, maybe get the military involved, and I'm not saying they should come out on the streets and start shooting everybody, but they should at least bring in some kind of fear factor. it's completely different. You know, in most countries other than the UK, most police are armed. You know, guns and whatnot. But here in the UK, our police don't have guns. You know, when I go on holiday, you know, places like Spain and you know, other places like that, the police are all armed, and it makes you think in a different way. You know, when you see a gun, you know, it's different than a knife. A knife, you know, people have to get up close and personal in order to use it, whereas, you know, the police, you know, and in certain circumstances, I think they should be well within their rights to shoot people, if it's completely necessary, that is. But this can't go on. I mean, it's just crazy. It's mental. People are scared. People don't want to leave their homes. You know. People have to try and go to work. There was an incident at the hospital as well, and you know, the nurses and doctors and all different types of staff there who've just finished 12, 13-hour shifts, and they've been working really hard, and then they finish a shift and they are attempting to go home, and there are thousands of people outside, like, with weapons and with balaclavas on and God knows what else, you name it. And these people can't even go home. And, you know, part of humanity, part of society is that people feel safe. And at the minute, people don't feel all that safe. And, well, that's just not okay. But I think that, like I say, I think the government and they've got a real problem on their hands. But to be perfectly honest, I think they are partially to blame for this. I think that this is partially their fault, due to the PM's announcement that this is just thuggery. And I'm not entirely sure that's particularly true. I think that this is people who've just had enough. You know, they want their families and their loved ones to be protected, and I think that's okay. You know, but I guess we'll see what comes of it. And yeah, pretty scary times. And there is no quick fix to this. I'm hoping that the attacks and all the protesting and all that kind of stuff, that comes to an end pretty soon. But the long-term problem here, it's a big one. It's a real big problem here, and it's going to take a long, long time to fix. But it needs to be fixed. It's not okay. And yeah, crazy times. But yeah, so today's been a pretty interesting day. Been playing some FIFA, and then I decided to come on and do some Tomb Raider. I don't stream my FIFA because, to be perfectly honest with you, it would be nigh on impossible for me to talk whatsoever whilst doing FIFA. It requires far too much of my concentration, and so I stream more of my story games. And to be honest, FIFA's not all that enjoyable to watch, in my opinion. So yeah. So where are we? We're on Tomb of Tihocan. So like the last level, which was what was it called? Assistant. Not a fan of this level again. Back when I was younger and I played these older Tomb Raiders when I was a young boy, they were great. And but there was always certain levels that I didn't particularly like, and funnily enough, this happens to be one of them. I guess I don't like the whole water thing and very dark, gloomy colours, but it's good because the fact that this is one of those levels that I don't know really well. It means I don't just know where to go and how to do everything straight away. It takes a good little bit of my time, and that's a good thing about these old games, these old story games in particular. They just made them the right way. The stories and the gameplay is a little bit iffy and things along them lines, but for the most part, it's definitely they've definitely got better stories. And I think because graphically things like gameplay and graphics, controls, things like that. They weren't as advanced back then, so they had to get other things right. And I think the main things that they did get right was, as I say, the actual gameplay and the story. You have a deeper connection with the character. I think there's more emphasis around the character, and it's certainly more intriguing. You know, I'm not saying that we can't make a single good game now, because that's not strictly true. You know, as you'll see, you know, on my stream in the future, and later down the line, I'll be playing some more up-to-date games. You know, and they have made some good story games over the past few years. One of them in particular is The Evil Within, because I am a bit of a survival horror junkie. And The Evil Within 1 and 2 were perhaps, in terms of modern times anyway, two of the greatest survival horror games I've ever played. Of course, nothing will beat the first three original Resident Evils. But The Evil Within, yeah, that was top tier, you know, especially the second one. Those were some really special games, and I think it's sad because I recently heard that Tango Gameworks, who were the developers of The Evil Within, have gone. They no longer exist anymore, which means I think the actual game itself is like Microsoft, so it could mean that someone else could produce this game, but as we've seen many times when different studios and whatnot try and produce these games, it doesn't mean it's going to be as good, and that's a shame, because there aren't many story games that I actually think are good anymore. And I don't know, I think that maybe if they do make it, maybe they can make it pretty decent. I don't know, but that'll be interesting to see. This is what I mean about the controls on these older games. Everything is more slow and precise and methodical. You can't like free flow it. You have to think about what you're doing. So yeah, some of the games I'm looking at featuring, you know, on the stream and over on my YouTube channel, where I upload all the highlights. I was a big lover of the original Metal Gear Solid back in the day. In my opinion, that game is perhaps, I would consider it the greatest of all time, and simply for one main reason. I think the story and the way that they did that game, I think that it was far and wide ahead of its time. I'd say even the story and the voice acting to some degree could hold its own now if they were to release it. Obviously they'd have to upgrade like the graphics and the gameplay for it to stand up in the modern times, but the story on that game, if you've never played the original Metal Gear Solid 1, you need to. It's a masterpiece, to say the least. And yeah, also I'll be looking at doing that one. And there's also Metal Gear Solid 2. I wasn't as big of a lover as 2. I didn't like how they changed the main character. You play as someone called Raiden. And then there's Metal Gear Solid 3, and well, that was top tier. So they went back to playing as Snake, and well, Solid Snake. It's quite a confusing story if you never played it. There's Snake, and he looks kind of the same, but it's two different people. Yeah, it's pretty unusual. So yeah, then obviously we'll be seeing the Resident Evils on the channel, and maybe even some Final Fantasy X. That's also one of my favourite games that I've ever played, but that would be it's a really big game, so that would be a really long playthrough. That would, you know, we'd be talking, well, it's about a 70-hour game to complete, and but that'd be interesting. I do enjoy that game, and I'm actually very good at it. I put a lot of hours into that as a young boy. That came out when I was in like secondary school, around the age of maybe 12, I think. I can't remember, but that's that might be interesting. You know, I can give a lot of tips and tricks and things about Final Fantasy X that you may want to know. But yeah, let me know. That could be right on my street. But yeah, we're just gonna go through all different types of story games and just see where we go. You know, this is something a little bit new for me, and yeah, a little bit of a different journey, because my previous time on YouTube was obviously Call of Duty montages and all that kind of stuff, and it's different because when I'm talking on here, I'm interacting with you with my voice, whereas before I only interacted with you in the comments and with my gameplay and things like that. So this is a little bit different for me, and it's going to take a little bit of practice, I think, to get a true understanding of how to get comfortable with this. But yeah, it's not too bad so far. I think I need to ignore the fact that I feel that I need to speak constantly, because I don't. But I think it's good to talk about things. You know, I think that there are many walkthroughs on YouTube and things like that, many games. So I think it's important to interact just to make it a little bit different. Because you know, my idea and my philosophy behind this is not perfect gameplay and everything else that goes with it. This is just me having some fun, playing some games, and yeah, uploading it to YouTube and live streaming it on Twitch, and just generally having a nice time doing it. And that's what this is all about for me. So yeah, I'm hoping that people are going to enjoy this too. If they don't, well, there's not a lot I can really do about it, is there? So yeah, so Tomb of Tihocan, it's going pretty well so far, but the reason I was switching between the graphics a lot there is I'm noticing a lot in this game that a lot of things are like invisible. You can't see a lot of things depending if you're in the new graphics or the old graphics, and it's making it pretty tricky to see certain items. So I have to keep flicking between the two to make sure I don't miss anything. But I know there's a secret here, but I'm not 100% certain on how you get it. I remember it years ago. I think it's something along the lines of run, jump, jump. No, we're going to try that again. I think I'm right, but we're going to try it again. So I think it's you run and jump over there. Jump, jump, jump. I remember it. I just can't remember exactly how you do it. Maybe you slide down. Yes, I knew it. Oh lord, it's a little bit more complicated than I thought though. How do I... Okay, I'm gonna save it and we're gonna give this a go. I remembered something from back in the day about this. So maybe it's jump, 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 jump. No, I was pretty impressed. I wasn't expecting to do that first time. It's amazing how certain things from, you know, what was it? How long ago was it I played this? 25 years ago, that kind of stay with you. And that was pretty cool. Enjoyed that. Okay, so let's slide down here. Where are we? Oh my word. So where are we? Just in a... Oh, no. Oh, I'm dead. He's gonna eat me. Don't eat me. Damn. Let me up here. Quick. Alligator. Or is it a crocodile? I don't know. I can never tell the difference, to be honest. Okay, what's in here? Anything? Oh, okay, maybe we've got to go up here. Okay. I should save it. That's the thing about these games as well. You've got to keep saving it because, well, there are no checkpoints, I'm afraid. You die, you go back. That could be, well, like I say, as far back as when you last saved it, and that can get pretty annoying. So, yeah, I don't want to just keep going back and doing the same thing. All that for that? No, surely not. Where is that? Okay, so have I got to go down here in the water? Oh, okay, apparently so. Yes. So we go through here. I'm so confused. Oh no. How do I get out? So I would imagine that door, because that's on land, so I imagine that door must be in here somewhere. Let's have a look. This is quite vast down here. This could take a while. Oh. Here? Yes, I found it, but my concern is I don't have much air. Oh, that's okay. It better not just be a secret. There's nothing in here. Oh. They don't make these easy to find. Or obvious, for that matter. Which is pretty infuriating. So what did that open? I wasn't paying attention then, I didn't see what they opened. But I think we should maybe get out of the water now. And, yeah, maybe have a look on here, on the platform, and see what's up here. If I can find where I'm going. Oh, there we go. Oh, music, that always tells you you're going in the right place. Oh, good God. I nearly died. Why haven't you come to life? Okay, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Nah, surely it's gonna sneak up on me or something. It has to, right?
A little late for the prize giving, no?
Oh no.
Still, it is the taking part which counts.
Please tell me we're actually gonna kill him now. Have we actually killed him? Oh my goodness. Yeah. That makes me so happy. He has been driving me insane. Oh, and he's got the other part of the ski on. Ah, it was on there. Oh yes, we've killed him. Thank God for that. How much ammo did he give me? Quite a lot, about 50 rounds. That's pretty good. Okay, so there's some more here. Useful. Okay. So that key's for that, but this is like a dead end, so to speak. So is that the way out? Must be. But why hasn't that other thing come to life yet? I'm very confused. I think there's something over here as well. Okay. So I'm not going to go in that door just yet because I don't understand why we haven't battled with this other one of these yet. That's really confusing me. Yep. I'm in the water. No! That's not fair. Okay, so we've killed both of them, but I don't really see the point. What was the logic in me coming back out here? There isn't one, right? There's nothing here. See, it's unlike Tomb Raider to just... I can't believe that is a huge graphical difference. My goodness. It's unusual for them to have such a big area here, and it served no purpose. But apparently it does, which is unusual. Yep, definitely here, so we must have to go back in here. Okay, let's do this. That's not a huge difference, to be fair. They haven't really done a great deal with that. Oh.
Here lies Tihocan, one of the 2 just rulers of Atlantis, who even after the curse of the continent had tried to keep rule here in these barren other lands. He died without child, and his knowledge has no heritage. Look over us kindly, Tihocan.
Well, there we go. Tomb of Tihocan. No, it's not as bad of a level as I remember, actually. But, yeah, let's move on to the next one.